I know you loved her, Sal.
I did.
Obviously.
She was the only member of my family that ever made time for me.
I know what that, in my own way, I know that what that's like when you lose someone who actually makes time for you because it's so rare.
And Dave Horbinski is even worse shape because he was in love with her. He dated her for so long.
Okay, the pre-show has started.
Okay. Let me see. So it's live. Is it live on
On Facebook. Is that what you wanted
on
to check?
YouTube.
It is live on YouTube and it is live on Twitch.
Okay, let me make sure it's live on YouTube. It doesn't say it's live on YouTube. On my phone, it should be live. It's not live. Okay, I'll get out of here again and I'll go do it again. Are you sure? Oh, there it is. Let me make sure that it's live. It's live on YouTube. Hello? On my phone, it should be live. Okay, it's on the phone. It's not live. Okay, that's fine. We're good. Okay. It's working.
Let's check Facebook
Go
Live.
go check Facebook and see that you hear like a delayed. You'll hear.
Yeah.
This is a good idea to have the
Hey,
people
thank you,
have
Rob.
the people check it.
Thank you. Glad you're watching.
Facebook Live is
Sal, remember that for the
We'll
future.
start over.
I will.
Okay.
No, was that us? That wasn't
No,
us.
that wasn't us. Think Twice Radio.
If it's hard for you to find, I can spin it.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
All right, so now, Vanessa, it's up to you when you want to start the show.
You got it.
Okay, it's working.
Okay, so we're gonna do the countdown like the Lindsey
countdown.
Buckingham song.
Okay.
So we go to the main.
And I'll get the link.
I'll send Terry the link.
Okay.
Okay, then we won't go live yet. She needs the link. Let me know when we can go live.
I will be happy to do that.
Okay. I wonder if Tom Windsor would have caught that after the update.
Good question.
You know, like, wasn't there a show he was doing? He was doing the other.
Because we have
didn't
done
catch
shows
it
where he
either?
engineers and he misses things.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Except Jesus, right? Right, Press?
Jesus was perfect.
Oh yeah.
I fall short.
I have to show you Sweet Jesus.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know if you do. That's sort of. Oh boy.
Have you seen it?
I've seen parts of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Okay.
I could see the whole thing. I think I have a DVD of it.
That'd be awesome.
We could watch it.
Do you have the extended version or the short version?
I hope I have the extended version. How would I know the difference?
I'm in the extended version. I'm not in the other version.
Well, that's obviously the version you want, is if you're in it. Yeah,
And
that is a
but
good
my
version.
name is on the front as producer, but
Why did they chop you out? What
for that-
happened?
they wanted the movie shorter.
Ooh, how much? What's the length?
The original
running
length
times.
was 147.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the new length was.
Wouldn't they have cut it down to 90 minutes?
Maybe.
Well, was it a 147? You say at
Yeah.
first. So.
Which is what my movie was. Strangely enough,
That's okay. That's not bad for a movie, you know, like 147.
Cherry.
it's better. Terry,
Is
good
that an
evening.
hour?
Terry, check your
Yeah, I got
messages.
Somebody's talking to you, Terry. They said, "Good evening, mate."
Are they
Nick's world of mice. Yeah.
They from
Mystical something or
Australia, mate. Ooh.
All right.
Or the
I guess
UK.
we're ready.
Are you ready for the 80s, like the Village People?
Can we start?
Yep.
Okay.
You know what to do, Vanessa.
Yeah, I know what to do.
Are you staying, Terry?
Okay, everyone, we're gonna
Let's try this again.
get ready for the countdown.
Countdown.
Ooh.
Welcome to the Oracle of Enlightenment Vortex. We had a few problems, so we apologize if you got it and the program didn't get sound.
Thank you, Rob Chase.
Yeah, for letting us know there was an issue. But the issue's been fixed, so we are going to do our show from the beginning. So, first off, I am the observer, Sal Monaco, and over there is Nessa of the Nessaverse. And over here is Buffalo's Talking Proud, Terry B.
Hi, guys.
And over here we have the Prez.
Hi.
And joining us in studio for the first time in a long time, Brandon Mack,
Yep.
the male star of my web series,
Like Fleetwood Mac.
Beyond the
Something
Mighty
like that, yeah.
Beyond. Brandon, how you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Well, how do
Tell
you
us.
think things are going with your character of Jason on the series?
Well, it's been like 7 years.
Yeah.
I don't have any idea.
It's time for Jubilee. 7 years.
Yeah.
No, it's actually been more like 11 years.
Yeah.
that
7-Eleven.
footage of you from the last movie that we intertwined was 10 years old. And the worst part is he does not look any older.
I mean, yeah, that would have been before I moved out to Colorado.
Yep.
Ooh. How long were you there?
2 years.
Oh, why'd you
Yeah.
move back?
Family stuff.
Yeah, that's the usual reason. Yeah.
Yeah,
Same here.
unfortunate. I loved it out there.
Yeah, I was in Hawaii for 10 years. I loved that. It's
Which island?
big. I was on Big Island. Volcano Village. I owned the Matsunaga farm for a while.
Very
Did
nice.
you really?
I
Mhm.
was on my property. It's like in the historic registry of things on the Big Island.
Yeah. All right, we're going to start with some very unpleasant news, folks. My cousin, Sherilyn Heward, unfortunately has passed away. People will know her as Melissa Monaco in our series, and she also was on this podcast several times as a co-host. And she was one of the sweetest ladies on this planet. And unfortunately, she has left this earth at the age of 38 and left a 19-year-old daughter. And I feel for her parents, this is the second child they've lost. And I really, really am going to miss Sherry. We did not go more than a week without talking, no more than 2 weeks without seeing each other. And we did all kinds of things. So everything reminds me of her. Festivals, karaoke, movies, doing haunted houses. Although she didn't like haunted houses, she always made sure to go just so we could torture her in the houses by telling people they're her name or having her get chased by the chainsaw guy. That's one of the things I'm going to miss the most. And she was a great actress. She went to, it took her a while to develop, but she went to one of the best acting schools in Buffalo.
Oh, yeah?
And,
What was that? Do you know the name?
It was, I'm blanking on it at the moment. But she loved to act, and she loved being, I took her to her first convention, and she just loved everything about...
What was the first convention that
I
you went to?
believe it was ErieCon that I took her to. She called it a vacation. Well, I mean, we went swimming, we had a party, we did all kinds of things. So,
Cool.
yeah. And
That's good. You spent time
we
together.
we didn't know we were cousins for the first 8 months that we knew each other.
Oh, how did you discover that?
She was working for a friend of mine on the dunk take, and I recruited her for the show, and we were talking on the phone for 8 months. And then when I went to pick her up for a shoot, her mother said, "You're Sammy Monaco, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yes." "Do you have a mother named Marianne?" "Yes." "You and Shirley are cousins." And I'm like, "What?"
Nice.
And I found out she was the granddaughter of two people I loved very dearly, Marie and Murph Toscano. And I knew her uncle and a few of her aunts that I hung out with when I was a kid. So that's when we first discovered we were family. And Sherry had a lot of problems, and she was in and out of the hospital, but we always cheered her on. Brandon, you knew her the best of anyone. What do you want to say?
I can promise you, you knew her better than I did.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about the rest of us. She had a crush on you, and we know it.
Yeah, she told me a couple of times. Yeah.
Yep. Let's all. Somebody wrote something. Let's all salute for Sherry, or is it Sherry? I don't know the right spelling of this. Vanessa, you knew her. You were Facebook
Oh
buddies?
yeah, I remember as SHERI on Facebook.
No, it's Sherilyn.
Yeah, but I mean, I remember she had a shortened version for the name.
Yeah, Sherry.
And it was with an I. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the Four Seasons song.
Yeah, her
Sherry.
character. A lot of people thought her character was her playing herself, and we always used to kid her about it because she would say, "I'm playing a flirty, gold digging slut," and people would say, "Oh, you're playing yourself." But as can I tell the story again, Brandon? Okay. On the set of the last shoot, we were doing the pajama party, and Brandon called me and said, "Sal, I don't own pajamas. I sleep in boxers." And I said, "Sherry, you want him to come like that?" And she goes, "Yes!"
Yep, she did.
Yep. So, yeah, and the scene she had with Brandon in that film was great, and we won an award for that film. So Sherry went to the other side as an award-winning actress, and I'm gonna miss her more than anything else. She was the only member of my family who made time for me all the time, and although we didn't have everything in common, we did have a lot in common. And she was always willing to try something in the alt community just because, despite her not knowing a lot of it, she was always comfortable in it. And she fought hard to kick her alcoholic habit, which she did for the most part. And she became a much better mother to Cassie, her now 19-year-old. And my heart goes out to Cassie. She's the same age I was when my mother passed away. And I can't say enough about her. Yes, we had our issues, but we always loved each other, and nothing changed that, no matter how bad things got. So let's have a quick moment of silence for her. I love you, Sherry. And we will see you again. Hopefully not too soon. So, as to what we're going to do with her character, we haven't decided yet. We're not recasting. We decided that because no one could play that character like Sherry. We do have a lot of footage of her still in the can that we're going to be using posthumous. And as to what's going to happen to her character in the present, I do not know yet. But I have a few ideas, but you'll have to wait and watch the show and find out. So, moving on, I just want to give a shout out to my friend who did a play this past weekend at the I hate pop-ups at the Ghostlight Theater, which is also called the Starry Night Theater, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Starry Night Theater Incorporated. It was a great play. It was called Rock of the Ages. I think it took place in the 80s, although they didn't give a definite time. And
what was some of the music in it? That would give you more of an indication as to the time period. Or some featured
there's just
songs.
so much 80s music in it.
And like what way?
And
More
it-
like hair metal, thrash metal, new wave.
I really
all-
don't know the difference. I'll be
Well,
honest.
tell me some artists.
Music
Or
is
some-
is my least
Oh, it's my expertise.
expertise. So, like I could never face the music geek on Beat the Geeks. But-
What were some of the featured songs in the performance?
I can't really recall at the moment. I'm sorry. But each song had a reason for being there. It was part of what was happening to the character. And there was like 3 different plots going through it, and the music was moving the plots along. At first I thought the plot was going to be a clothesline for the music, but that's not what happened.
That gave me a thought. If you had 3 plots, that would be really cool if you took 3 different genres of 80s music and associated it with a subplot. Like you could take hair metal, and you could have like the new wave for another part, and maybe more like the mainstream pop for another, and intertwine them.
There was 24 cast members in this play, and they used every bit of space they could in the theater. The upper levels, the lower levels, even the audience, even the walkways between the seats were being utilized. And with that big a cast and all that music, I have to say it was an amazing production that got done that way. Now, Terry, as you've done a lot of theater, when you have a cast that big, do you think it can be cumbersome?
I sort of like, my favorite is dinner theater.
Yeah.
I just love dinner theater. You're close to the audience. You have a small cast. It's very intimate. Sometimes you have to have a large cast for some of these musicals at these high schools and that they need that type of exposure to have that little excitement.
Especially if it's written by Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Right. I mean, you need a big crew for voices, for the sound and the songs.
So what's some of your favorite 80s music then?
To my friend Zach Smith, you were great as one of the leads, and you were amazing, and it was an amazing play, and if it ever comes around again, I suggest checking it out. And you can check out other stuff at the Ghostlight Theater.
Can I ask everybody what who their favorite 80s musical performer is, just quickly? Do you have a favorite?
I'd have to say it's between Madonna and Cyndi Lauper.
How about you?
Probably Madonna.
Oh, I love Madonna. Big influence. Yeah. How about you guys?
I would say Madonna.
Ooh, good answer.
I didn't watch anybody perform live.
Any music
Just
videos
music
you
as a
liked?
whole
Music as a whole,
from the 80s.
I mean,
Bette
probably
Midler?
alt rock. You know, Nirvana.
Nirvana's 90s.
Yeah.
Is it?
I like
Okay.
Nirvana in the 90s,
No,
yeah.
I was born in '83, so
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
it's a little bit of
What are you
after
gonna
your
do?
time.
Oh, you probably get a lot in your karaoke.
Ooh,
not
yeah.
as much as you think.
Oh, what's the
I
most
mean-
popular stuff in your karaoke, would you say? Like
Unfortunately, tequila.
the song of the Tequila by the Champs, it doesn't
The
have any
song.
words.
Yeah.
Or they just have one word. Tequila, yeah.
Tequila or The Wall.
Fun fact about Tequila, you know who was in that band The Champs and played the guitar before they were real famous?
Oh,
Glenn Campbell.
oh, cool.
That's Glenn Campbell playing the guitar.
You mean
on it.
I'm a rhinestone cowboy?
Yeah, the guy, Wichita lineman. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. Glenn Campbell. He was part of the Wrecking Crew for a while. That did a lot of the background music or on a lot of 60s hit albums. You know?
He's
Yeah.
not still around, is he?
Who?
Glenn Campbell?
No, I think he is. I think he's in real rough shape and he can barely perform and he forgets a lot. And I remember a couple years ago,
Really?
Yeah.
he was performing and I think his son was with him, helping him on the tour. And he could sort of still perform songs, but like he couldn't do much else or remember much else. I don't think he is dead though yet, because I think I would have heard about that. But he's in rough shape.
Brandon, have you done theater, or is your career
Not
mainly?
recently.
No, but you have done it.
Yeah, I've done a lot of theater.
Okay. Well, how does that transpire between theater and movies? Like the differences.
Theater, you wear a lot more makeup because the audience is further away. You have to memorize everything front to back because there's no pauses to be able to do anything like that. And then afterwards, you don't have anything to show for it. You got the friends and stuff, and the cast gets a lot closer, you know. But I mean, as far as, hey, I did this. Oh yeah. Well, can I see it anywhere? No.
Unless
I was
someone
just
videotapes
Unless
it.
someone videotapes it. Yeah, I
and-
videotaped a couple of my productions when I was doing
and
theater.
it's pretty poor. I mean, you know what? Maybe nowadays it's not as bad as it used to be, but film. In theater, you've got to be a lot louder, even for quiet stuff. You got to project. Whereas film, it's a lot more subtle, makeup, voice, gestures, things of that nature, and you don't have to memorize everything front to back, top to bottom.
So really, it's almost like two different things. In a
Yeah,
way.
and if you
Two different sides of the same
and
coin.
if you mess up, you can redo it. Something you can't do during a play.
Right. When it happens in the play, you just got to roll with it.
Yeah, I had that happen to me a couple times. I was playing Persephone, and in Persephone, I was playing the watchdog Cerberus with the 3 heads.
You had how did you do the 3 heads? Paper
They were
mache
supposed
or
to
what?
do paper mache, but they weren't able to get it to work. So I went out. They just talked about it. I
So
went
were
out
you
there
a
with one
one-headed
head.
Cerberus?
Yes.
Oh.
And while I was on
Fluffy.
stage, my leg came off.
Oh boy.
So I kind of made a routine out of it that people were watching. And
No
it wound
head
up-
and no leg.
it was getting kicked under the thing. But the following night, they had to sew it on me so that it wouldn't come off. And one of the during A Midsummer Night's Dream, one of the actresses forgot her lines and started going, "Oh, oh," and the guy playing the king immediately jumped in. So I understand. Some people say I stole the show as Cerberus because I actually came out in the audience and was getting the audience to pat me and stuff before I actually got on stage. So, and when I was on stage, one of the girls was petting me the whole time. So,
They rub your belly?
yeah,
Nice.
I actually practiced with my dog. Believe it or not.
One of the nicer things about theater, and it's probably some of my best memories, honestly. The last night, everybody screws with each other. It's wonderful. I remember there was a production of it was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That's what it was. And one of my friends was playing the snow monster thing, and he had this giant paper mache mallet, and he'd like swing it over his head, and then he'd bend over when the thing hit the floor. And I was off in the wings every time he bent over to hit the ground. I was like, he held it together just barely. And
Nice.
then just this last one, because this is one of my prouder moments, I'll say. Very, very inappropriate, but I'll keep it PG.
Please do.
I will. So I was Kaneki in production of Grease, and 2 friends of mine, one of which who's no longer with us, were Rizzo and Sonny, and they were dating, and eventually got married. Anyway, so I snuck back into the props room, and the wallet that Frenchie opens to show Freddie during Freddie My Love, I went and I took a couple of actually sheets of notebook paper, and I drew wangs on just little pieces, and big ones, small ones with veins on them, hairy ones, all kinds. And then right where Freddie's picture was supposed to be, I outdid myself. I did this big, it was wonderful. So then I, put it away. Nobody knew anything. It was community theater. Nobody's double checking, nothing. So she goes out, and none of them have any idea what's about to happen. And I'm off in the wings, and I'm about to burst. Like, I cannot wait. I'm preemptively starting to laugh. And then I just remember saying, Sal, Freddie, you got a picture of him? And she's like, yeah, right here. And she flips open her fold, and just this snowfall of dongs just explode out of the billfold. And now she has to sing Freddie, my love to this picture of a large phallic, we'll say, thing. And now all the girls sitting around in her bedroom, like, they know what's going on, and they're not facing the audience, so they're absolutely losing their shit. And the girl had to sing it because she's looking at it and making faces at it, and I literally thought I was gonna pop a lung. I was laughing so hard.
I have to
That's
say
hilarious.
One, yeah.
Hysterical.
I have to say one thing about theater I love is that
I thought they were gonna stab me.
Yeah, thankfully they didn't. When you come out at the end for your curtain call, there's an energy you get, especially if you get a standing ovation.
It's high.
Yeah.
It's sort of like
which
that
is
when you
great.
play in a band too.
Yeah.
If you've ever done that.
No, I haven't.
Many
but
times.
I managed a band.
Oh,
so
you
I
play in
know.
a band?
Many different ones.
Oh, cool. What
Do you
instruments?
think, do you think we
I
could
was a
say
vocalist.
Oh, you're lead vocalist.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Songwriter
Cool.
and
Terry, what do you
lyricist.
think about the difference between theater and film?
Well, it's funny you should mention that. The other day I was discussing the same thing with a friend of mine who's an actor and a singer and basically has done a lot of musical theater. And he went to see a show that was strictly a play, just scenes, skits. And he said that he noticed a difference between the people on stage that he knew were professional actors on stage and the others that were just in film.
Right.
Film actors tend to not have the volume or the projection in their voice that stage actors have.
Yeah. We've had some issues with stage actors coming in to do film.
And sometimes they overproject for film.
They're over
Yeah.
But
huge.
sometimes they
Overdramatic.
can throw themselves in, if you're doing something fantasy oriented or something, they can throw themselves into the make believe a lot more than standard film actors can, at least at our level. All right, so moving on to our next topic, which is alternate dimensions in movies and TV. Now, we start with the Phantom Zone.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
All right,
Phantom
put up
Zone.
the picture, please.
Phantom Zone from the
Now,
second
for the-
Superman
This
movie.
is from Superman 2. There were two different versions of Superman 2, one by Richard Donner and one by somebody else. I have not seen the Richard Donner version yet. I will get my hands on it eventually and find it. But the Phantom Zone in the comic books is a floating void where you remain unaging and you don't have to eat, sleep, or anything like that, and you're seeing everything that's happening on Earth and the rest of the
or your
universe.
planet like Krypton.
You can look into other planets, other universes, and you can't do anything.
That's sort of like
Although
being,
they are able to occasionally do some telepathy thing to mess things up, but to make trouble for Superman. But
right. But you can't really hear yourself scream, and it's like sort of being like this shadowy, staticky, almost like carbon copy, not real, almost like disconnected entity that doesn't really have a body, and it's like supposed to be the most horrifying torture that they could have invented.
yeah, well, in the Super Friends cartoon, it was just a dark void, and it neutralized everyone's powers and devices while they were there, and they were basically seen as drawings with computerized voices. In the Superman movie, like you showed, it was a big piece of glass that flew down, grabbed the three, and flew into space. And it just happened to fly near Earth at the time that Superman threw a hydrogen bomb into space inside an elevator, and it crashed the Phantom Zone and opened it up.
Oh, yeah. That reminds me of, like, I wonder if they got maybe inspired from Scientology with the myth of Lord Xenu trapped the Thetans in ice and then flew them and things that look like a DC-10 into the volcanoes in Hawaii. Then they thawed out in the volcanoes and the Thetans were unleashed upon Earth.
I don't know about that.
Do you know that? Like, you know about the L. Ron Hubbard stuff. You read Battlefield Earth, right, Prez?
I did. It
I'm
was
sorry.
a horrible book.
The soundtrack is phenomenal.
Yeah,
right? The
yeah,
soundtrack
the
record?
soundtrack is
is
great.
considered one of the worst movies in history.
Well, the soundtrack album is just
John
amazing.
Travolta.
It's funny. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
It is. It's insane, like pompous science fiction, sort of new wavy, sort of orchestral, but like done with real cheap synthesizers. It's L. Ron Hubbard composed it. It's a wonderful
in the
record.
Supergirl TV series, it was shown as a bunch of floating asteroids and islands and places to run around, and there was an actual prison there that had the prisoners in there, and it got sent into the real world. Not to mention, there were phantoms that got in and out of there. And that's the only iteration that used that. In the Supergirl movie, it was seen as a hellscape of a planet. Even though, again, Supergirl and Superman took place in the same universe, but yet we had two different versions of the Phantom Zone. So, and in the comic books, Supergirl left Argo City as a teenager and landed on Earth while Superman was a man. And Superman, as a toddler, was shot into space. But in Supergirl TV series, she was a teenager while Kal was a boy, was still a baby. And when Argo City was in danger, she was 10 years old, and she got, or no, I think it was 12 years old, something like that. She got shot into space and crashed and accidentally got stuck in the Phantom Zone for 10 years. So she didn't age. So by the time she got to Earth, Kal was a man and she was still a teenager. So
Yeah. It sort of reminds me of like a really super hellish version of like Limbo or Purgatory.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Only it's a physical realm
Yeah.
instead of a spiritual realm.
Well, it sort of is a spiritual realm in a way because they are contained energy that aren't really, you can't physically feel anything or like even hear your own voice when you're in the Phantom Zone.
There was one time where three Phantom Zone villains erased Ma and Pa Kent, some memories of Superboy and Clark Kent being two separate people, and Superboy killed off Clark Kent, and oh god, it was great. And there was a time when they took his superpowers away, being able to use their telepathy to do things from the Phantom Zone, and he let one of them out, and he said, "Return my superpowers." And he says, "Why should I? I'm out." And he holds a thing of kryptonite on him and says, "Either you let it go or you're done for." And he goes, "You won't kill." And he says, "I'm without my powers. Try me," basically. And if he didn't, his father was gonna. So he, he brewed the potion that cured Superboy and then was sent back to the Phantom Zone. But Superboy later said, "Oh, I was bluffing."
Oh.
I wasn't going to kill him. But that's just one of the things. Now, every TV show or movie has their own ideas of what these alternate dimensions are. I mean, Sliders, one of my favorite TV shows, shows us alternate universes, different versions of Earth, which I loved.
Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap shows us different versions of timelines because
Timelines.
Sam resets. Every time Sam changes history, he resets the timeline, and things change in the future. Things even change at the project sometimes.
So does it occur as a shifting of reality, or is it alternates?
It creates alternate timelines, as we saw in, was it Endgame? They said that when you time travel to the past, you start unless, like in Time Tracks, you're tethered to the time you came from. You're gonna go back to an alternate to the new timeline. So
Okay.
whatever you do in the past is gonna change the timeline. You're gonna go back, and you're gonna see the alternate timeline.
Right.
And if you're aware of the change in the future, it'll change around you.
What do you mean?
Well, like in Back to the Future, they were aware of the fact that things changed because they had been time traveling and were caught with were doused with temporal energy. So every time something changed, they knew about it, whereas other
Right.
people
Weren't aware.
weren't aware. But Jennifer, who had been dropped off in the alternate timeline, and the dog Einstein were there, and when Doc Brown and Marty changed the past, it changed around them, but they still remembered everything that happened. So,
Okay.
And what about the theory of like parallel universes and
Well,
things
like-
splintering off?
Well, like in science, there's a concept they can't prove or disprove it, that there's an infinite number of universes created by every event that occurs, which happens, I think, at the center of matter in a probability wave. And basically, there's an infinite number of universes being generated every short period of time.
Like continuously.
I
Yeah.
don't know that that's the case, but there are universes. There's supposedly
That's
universes
speculated.
out there that have already been created where we made a different decision. Now we're
Yeah.
supposedly the prime universe, and everything
Well, that's
stems
because
from
we're
us.
here and we think we're the prime universe, but another one of us in another timeline might think that they're the real version.
But
So
you have
who
to
is
remember,
the real version?
alternate realities and alternate timelines are two entirely different things.
But wouldn't, on an alternate timeline, your reality be a different reality than on another timeline? It would have to be.
Well, you wouldn't unless you were doused with temporal energy like Doctor Who or Quantum Leap. You wouldn't be aware that the timelines even changed.
Oh, we can't be aware in this dimension because it's too limited with our constraints.
like in X-Men, the cartoon, Bishop goes back in time to stop the assassination of the president to change the future because it ruined the future. Then when Bishop comes back, the timeline's completely changed, and there's a plague that Apocalypse started. So he has to go back and fix that. And when he comes back, there's no plague, but there's another problem that has to be fixed. And the same thing can be done in Terminator, because as we know in Terminator, they were not tethered to their own timeline. So when one of them went back in time, the timelines changed around them. And although it didn't affect them, they would go, anyone who came back from the future would come back from the new timeline, and they would, if they traveled into the future, it would be into the new timeline because they weren't tethered. Now, if you're tethered to your reality and if you're tethered to your own future, then you're going to change. Like, whatever happened to the future is going to affect you, and you're going to become the person you are in that future. But in other cases, like in time tracks, you're going to be able to contact and go back to the future you came from, even if it's not the future that's happening. And of course, there was
Thank you.
different concepts behind time travel, even to the point where DC and Marvel have introduced, well, Marvel specifically. No, actually, they both did. They introduced the fact that if you mess with a fixed point in time, it's not only going to cause ripples that'll change the future, it'll cause ripples that could change the past, as in the Flashpoint timeline, which we've seen a few times. We saw it in an animated movie, we saw it in comics, and we saw it in the Flash TV series. Because the Flash stopped Professor Zoom from killing his mother, it caused the entire world to change because it was a fixed point in time.
I don't think it would be possible to go back in time without altering it in some way, because no matter what, you're going to do something differently, even if it's a small thing.
Well, that's what they talked about in Back to the Future, where it's spelled out a lot in the book, where they said any little thing could change it. Like if you go to the movies and spend 50 cents to go to the movie, that could alter things. Or because you change things with your parents, what if they don't? They decide not to have kids while they're going to college, or what if your father meets some young co-ed and leaves? So there was always the chance that anything you do is going to change. Sometimes it could be something simple, like
Having relations with your sister or something. Or
God.
your mother, right?
Yeah, that was an issue. But
You're your own grandpa, like the song on Dr. Demento.
or like
right,
in Red Dwarf, Dave Lister was his own father, And
That's brilliant.
every Father's Day he wrote a card to himself and got so drunk he forgot what was on the card and then gave it to himself the next day.
Oh, I like that.
It was such a good. I mean, it's a sitcom. What are you going to do? But if you're not tethered to any timeline, you're not going to change. But if you're you're tethered to the timeline, as in you can go back to it, then you don't have to worry about going to any other future but your own, and you're not going to change with any changes.
What about wormholes?
Yeah, but
Wormholes-
what about chaos theory? It basically says, like, if you make one small change, you eventually have a ripple effect that'll change the whole future.
Which is why you have to be careful. Now, in Quantum Leap, like Brandon said, he can only change things that are meant to be changed. He's been sent back there by God to change things that needed to be changed that went wrong the first time. Now, is it because Satan made them wrong? We don't know. Could be any number of things. But he was sent, Sam is being, and other people are being leaped through time to fix these problems in the past. But if they try to fix something that's not meant to be, or they try to mess with something that's important, then it's going to cause really bad issues in the present.
Okay.
Because Sam is completely tethered to his own timeline. So when he changed the fact that his wife didn't leave him at the altar, and she was waiting for him working on the project, or when he had a child with another woman in the past, and in the present the woman was working on Project Quantum Leap. So you're going to change, and he changed things for Al. He gave Al his wife back, and because of it, Al and Beth had 4 daughters and stayed together. So yeah, if you change any little thing if you change something that isn't meant to be changed, it will cause a disaster. Like when he got Al killed, and there was somebody else as the observer from the future. It was Roddy McDowell. And but when you're in a specific time, even though time is happening all at once, the future is fluid, which means you can change things and change them back. You're creating an alternate timeline. You're creating a different timeline every time you mess with it.
If all time is occurring all at once, which it is, isn't like the creation of a future just an illusion of like where we're placed within the timeline, within our limited perception?
Well,
right now?
in some cases, you're allowed to travel into alternate time. Like DC has done it several times with if one alternate future is the Legion of Superheroes, and another alternate future is Commandy, the last boy on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So there's various alternate futures that you can travel to. Now, I'm not quite sure what that's all about, because it was always hard to figure out. And they were always changing. Everyone always changes the rules to time travel, even within universe. They'll say, a character will say, doesn't it seem like the rules of time travel change? Which is why on Doctor Who, he has a specific circuit on the TARDIS that protects him and his companion from causing changes to the future. And it was turned off in one episode, and one of the girls stepped on a bug, and all of a sudden she turned into this half-bug alien. And he had to run inside and get the circuit back on and change her back to normal. But that goes back to the Butterfly Effect movie and book and everything. If you step on a butterfly, it's going to turn the future bad, because you change any little thing.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's something little. Like in Back to the Future, Marty, when he left, it was the Twin Pine Mall. But when he got to the past, he accidentally ran over one of the trees.
Mm-hmm.
So when he got Back to the Future, it was called the Lone Pine Mall.
Mm-hmm.
And the cavern that the train was going past was called the Clara Cavern, named after Clara because she died in the cavern. But when they undid her death, it changed. And since Marty was going under the name Clint Eastwood in the past, when he got Back to the Future, it was called the Eastwood Canyon. So little things like that can change, Yeah. and like I said, Terminator is your best example, but they seem to like playing with alternate timelines more than anything else, because like the first two movies are one timeline. Then the third movie picks up and creates a different timeline, whereas the third movie and the sixth movie both start a new timeline, and both of them suck. All right? But 4 and 5 actually began creating a better timeline, and they should have stuck with it, but they didn't. The cartoon is a completely different timeline. The TV series takes place in between, and it altered things that happened in the movie. So the third movie never happened because the TV series altered it. And the fifth movie pretty much undid everything from the first two movies. So, it's not even with just time travel shows. I mean,
Oh yeah, I'd like to bring it like Fantasy Island.
well, Fantasy Island, there was a couple different versions. The original one with Mr. Rourke, and there was a darker version done, by Ricardo Montalban and Herb Villachez. Then there was a darker version that was done by Malcolm McDowell, but it only lasted 13 episodes.
But considering
And there was a prequel to that was done as a movie, which wasn't bad, but Louise Gomez was playing Louise Gustin, the one who plays Gomez on Wednesday. He played Mr. Rourke in that one, and that was supposed to be the prequel to the second series, whereas the Fox series that just happened a few years ago was a sequel to the original series, and it ignored the movie and Malcolm McDowell's series.
But within Fantasy Island, the original TV show, there's like shifting of reality and within everyone's desire and what happens to them.
Well, yeah, the whole
So
point of
that's-
going there is to do something that's going to change your life.
So in a way, Mr. Rourke has the ability to sort of create an alternate timeline for a bit.
Yes, but Mr. Rourke is only Mr. Rourke and whoever's in charge is only the vessel for the power. The power actually belongs to the island. The island is alive. And
right. Like,
it allows,
like they believe in Hawaii, like the island is alive, the Aina. Yeah.
and it grants you what you need, but it usually gives you some consequences for it. Have you seen
There's
the show,
always
Terry?
consequences.
No.
You never
no.
watched Fantasy Island?
No. Oh, back then?
Yeah.
Oh, the old one.
Yeah,
the one
oh,
from the
yeah,
70s,
yeah.
yeah.
I thought you were talking about something updated. No, I used to love the show.
Yeah, I did too.
You know, they
I
should
remember
bring
the
it back.
episode where the guy was betting and betting and betting, and he wanted to take enough money to take over the island, and then Mr. Rourke showed up with the last card, and he lost with that
That's
card.
one show. Show I don't see a rerun on.
Yeah, you
It's
don't.
being rerun now on Sundays on MeTV.
Is it okay? I gotta
Okay.
watch it.
Yeah, and there were some TV movies, but the recent version involved Mr. Rourke's niece taking over and a new tattoo being created, and it got more into the lives of the people helping run Fantasy Island. The movie just kind of set the stage for the second series. Why they did that, I have no idea, because the second series only lasted 13 episodes, and it let's be honest, it stunk. Not
yeah.
because of Malcolm McDowell, just because the writing was so bad and the idea behind it was so bad. A dark version of Fantasy Island, just, you know, and Marilyn Manson wanted to star in it and make it hellish in nature, and thank God they passed that one over. But the recent one, which was a few years ago, they delved more into how the island gave the powers. Like, she would go up to people and say, well, what can the island do for you? You know, and there were several references to the original show, pictures of Ricardo Montalban and Herb Villachez and all that stuff. And the writing was actually pretty good. I don't know why it only lasted like 2 or 3 years. I mean, it had a lot of great guest stars, like always, and I thought the storylines, especially the ones involving the people who helped, like the guy who flies the plane, he actually was fleshed out as a character. Where in the original show, they never showed who flew the plane.
That's a good character to have.
Yeah, and we had the person who was actually running things from the background, making sure catering and the plants. There was a gardener, you know. So I liked it. I mean, it wasn't as strong story-wise as the original because they had this. I mean, occasionally the original delved into their lives, like Tattoo originally had a fantasy, and Mr. Rourke every so often put himself into a fantasy. So it's not like it didn't happen. It's just that they fleshed it out relatively quickly this time around. And the gardener was an interesting character. But that's another example of what happens when you create alternate universes. You know, let's do something different with it. Why? Why change something that works?
Right.
You know?
There were a lot of alternate universes presented in Twilight Zone. Like,
Yes.
remember the little girl lost?
Little Girl Lost was an interesting one because it showed them making contact with another dimension that wasn't even laid out like ours. I think they were actually... I can't say that they were in like the fourth, fifth, or sixth dimension. They were just in an adjacent dimension. And the art director did phenomenal with that, even though it was only like a 3-minute scene. But
Yeah,
that
she
was
disappears into the wall.
yeah.
And they have to go try to find her. The dog ends up being the one who finds her.
Yeah, the dog, as soon as they let the dog in, he knows what's going on, and he runs into the portal and goes searching for her. But even with his abilities, his dog senses he has trouble finding her because things are so weird in that dimension, and which is why the physicist friend didn't want him or the wife going into the portal.
Right.
But there were a couple issues. Number one, why did her voice sound like an older woman when we heard it around the house? And two, why did he right away go to she's in another dimension before even checking if she was under the house?
You know what's funny? Like, that's a common theme in the Twilight Zone thing. Like the dog, that's knowing. Like, you know, the one episode where...
The Hunt,
Yeah.
where the dog keeps a man from walking into hell.
Yep.
He's like, the reason the demons wanted to get rid of the dog is because he'd have warned you as soon as he smelled that brimstone. Because a man will walk into hell with both eyes open and not know it, but even the devil can't fool a dog.
Yeah, they were trying to tell him that he couldn't go to heaven unless he left the dog behind.
Yeah, because
And he
the dog
refused
had
to
a
do that.
different. The dog had a different heaven, or doggy heaven. That has been debunked. The Pope himself has said animals go to the same heaven humans do. So.
Oh boy.
So do plants, because they'll
make you
they
happy.
are alive, but I'm not. They're not sentient, so I don't know if. Well, maybe
Fungi
They
sort of are.
yeah, maybe
the
they are.
network
Now
of
that I
fungi
think
that
about it,
they speak to each other in their own way.
so
with
they must
impulses.
have. They must have.
Mushrooms are alive, very alive.
What do you think, Terry? You think?
I don't know.
Lots of people do jokes about it, like on Night Court when they said when the guy pretended to be the spirit of death, and he said, "We have 10 guys alone that handle goldfish."
Yeah. There's always got to be a funny comment somewhere.
That's one of my favorite
break it up.
Yeah,
Twilight Zones.
in Charmed, they presented the angel of death as not being evil. You know, he's just doing the job he was given. And Twilight Zone did that in the 1000 Twilight Zone when Jason Alexander played the spirit of death. And he goes, I take one day off in 4.5 billion years, and look what it happens. He goes, and the guy goes, how did you get out of the restraints? And he goes, I killed the dinosaurs. You think I can get out? It's easy to get out of restraints, you know. And he shows them that there's no obituaries, and in the original Twilight Zone there was 2 episodes that dealt with death. Nothing in the Dark and Hitchhiker. And in both cases, it's the spirit of death coming for you and you trying to hide from them.
We're talking about alternate timelines, right?
Yeah.
So if there's what does it have to do? Are these alternate timelines, other dimensions?
These are like other dimensions presented within the show.
Yes, like in one episode, 1980. It was only 1981, and the world was dying from nuclear war, and there was another alternate reality where, a man goes into Burgess Meredith goes into a vault, and the world is destroyed, and he comes out. Now, I have to think right now. Now, even though that was one of the most classic episodes, it was called Time Enough at Last.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to say that if there had really been a nuclear war, he would not be able to eat the food. He would not be able to just walk out into it.
Be all
Right.
poisoned.
So it had to be some other kind of disaster. Or there's also the concept that maybe he was dreaming the whole thing in the vault, because he wanted so badly to be able to find time to read. And then the whole thing with his glasses falling off and breaking.
Yep.
That was just a bad idea.
Yeah.
But I mean, every Twilight Zone episode presented some kind of different world that we had to look in.
I like the one with Anthony wishing people into the cornfield, because
God.
not only was the world Anthony in
It's a good
another
life.
place, he wishes you into yet another place. So there's two other places within one show.
Okay.
Remember
That
that?
was called It's a Good Life.
That was a great one. That kid
And-
reminded me of Trump.
The kid was played by
Billy
Billy
Mooney.
Mooney.
Yeah.
Well, they did
What else did
another.
Billy Mooney play?
They did a bet. He played
He's in
in
a lot of
like
stuff.
he played Pip in Praise of Pip, and he also played the kid who the man turned into in the episode with the grandmother. But
Oh yeah.
the point was that there was another example in the movie. They showed us an alternate reality of that episode, and a much better one, I must say. It was much better than the story they had, and they did a sequel in the 2001 that Bill Mooney and Cloris Leachman came back to play older versions of themselves, and Bill's daughter restored the world to normal, but sent a
What's
lot
normal?
more people to the
What
to,
is
to the
normal?
cornfield.
The
Huh?
norm is the big part of the bell curve where most data is collected, and the outliers on the other side are the part that
No.
are like the standard deviation and the
Will you
nominal.
stop?
No, it is. It's a thing within life with everything. You have to have a norm
Do you
and then
guys
a
want to say
deviation.
anything?
I'm
about this?
enjoying what I'm listening to.
Okay.
Brandon?
We're talking some science here.
Yeah. Okay.
Normal is normal for a reason.
Yeah. Well,
It's the norm.
the
It's
point
most things
was that-
fall in that data
Yeah.
point.
Yep.
the point was in the first episode, Anthony removed the rest of the world, and only his town was
Yep.
left.
I loved when he
And he
turned
was
his.
changing everything.
I loved when he turned his father into the Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
Remember on The Simpsons they did that?
Yes.
Bart turns Homer into like the Jack in
Well,
the
that
Box.
was that was a parody,
Yeah, it was. That's
and
great.
that was actually better than the original
Oh, it's a
episode.
good parody.
But Cloris Leachman, when I interviewed her, she mentioned that was a very interesting episode to direct.
That was
to
one
be
of the
in.
best.
She played the mother, and she should have hit him over the head when she had the chance. But the daughter restored the world to normal, and she brought back a few things that were sent to the cornfield. But Cloris didn't make it out. She eventually got sent to the cornfield. But the cornfield was a much different place in this future.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, another example was the original had a great episode called "The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street." Do you remember that one,
yes,
Terry?
yes.
Yeah. It was about aliens invading Earth by basically turning on machines and making everybody think, turning on and off machines and doing things to make everybody
Weird things,
things
situations.
to make everybody doubt each other and try to kill each other and everything.
Ooh, it sounds like when various entities such as Russia screw with people on social media, creating
Yeah.
different alternate realities within social
Right.
media.
Well, when they did they showed us a different universe in the 2001 version, in which it wasn't aliens, it was terrorists, and they did the same kind of thing, but with a little bit of a difference at the end. But the whole thing comes down to is that we're paranoid, and You know, take the shelter, for example. Everyone's trying to pound their way into this poor guy's shelter, and they eventually break into it. And I'm like, I hate to tell you this, folks, but if you guys can bang into it with a pipe, it's not going to survive a nuclear war. So you wasted your time and money, especially since it didn't happen. But the whole point was that all his neighbors were turning on him, and by the end of it, he was ready to pack up his family and move.
Actually, we had done a previous show, and one of the things that came up on the show was something that I had seen on a video about how scientists always thought that area or volume controls the amount of data that can be stored, but it was proven by a physicist that, like on the surface of a black hole, that the information is contained on the surface, not on the volume.
Okay, Sal, we're not here to discuss scientific terms. We're talking
They sort of
media
tie
here.
in because it's like a whole thing with like alternate realities.
Well, we've only
but that
got
there
less
is,
than
like,
4 minutes.
Yeah, but there is a basis in science behind a lot of these scenarios
Well,
that they come up with.
you mean like the Einstein-Dostoevsky bridge, which is supposed to be what creates wormholes into alternate Earths. Well, I want to ask everyone this question before we go off. Do you believe that when we sleep, our consciousness subconsciously taps into other worlds' realities, and that's how we write movies, TV shows, books, and everything? We're writing about a timeline we visited in our dreams. Or, not a timeline, a universe. What does everybody think of that? Terry, what do you think?
I believe it happens.
Okay.
Prez?
I definitely believe it.
Well, I think that so ask the question again.
All right. First, Brandon?
I mean, I write songs, and it's all based on previous experience, so nothing comes to me when I'm sleeping. So,
Well, that's something different.
Yeah.
Music is something different, but even that can have a story to
That
it.
can
Like what
be-
happened with Girl on Girl. It was a song, a music video, then it became a book, then it became a feature film.
You know, like John Lennon said, the song "Across the Universe," he was dreaming that he jumped up and wrote it. The endless whatever, falling like rain into a paper cup. And
Well,
like,
do you believe the theory?
it's one possibility of coming up with content. Certainly, I think like sometimes when you're asleep, you might go to other dimensions, or you're like the astral plane or other places.
Yeah.
Well, I remember what I was thinking of. This ties back to consciousness. We don't actually know what consciousness is. That could actually be a connection to other dimensions that we're able to be aware of something that isn't purely physical.
Yeah.
They have no way to verify and measure consciousness with hard data.
Yeah.
Right.
So, what
But
is
the-
it?
Yeah, but the point is that everything we write down, whether it's a book, a movie, or whatever, is happening in an alternate reality. And if you could pierce this bridge, these wormholes, you could go to it. Like I could go to a universe where I'm actually Matt and she's actually Ruth and he's actually Jason. You know, my web series universe is existing in some other place. You know. And it also is multiple timelines. Like when you have to change an actor in a TV show, you're immediately taking it to another timeline. So,
Explain the timeline in Bewitched where Darren looks so different out of nowhere.
they actually had an explanation for
Yeah?
that,
What
and they
was it?
decided not to use
Oh,
it.
but I'd love to see what the explanation for that is.
It was supposed to be he got changed by a spell, and they couldn't figure out how to change him back, so they cast a spell
Oh.
around him to make everyone think he was the same person. The problem is they would have had to do that for Mrs. Tate, Mrs. Kravitz, and Darren's father, so they decided to just not do it. Okay, we have 26 seconds left. Brandon, I want to thank you for coming back and being in studio. Terry, it's a
you.
pleasure as always.
Thank you.
Prez, thank you for coming in at the last minute again.
You're welcome.
And Vanessa, you did a great job with the show, as did Richard. So, for the Oracle of Enlightenment, this is the Observer, Sal Monaco, saying, go to the fair, have a good time, and everyone out there remember Sherry Heward.